Hi, welcome to the Excel for Statistics class. This course teaches you statistical thinking concepts that are essential for learning from data and for making business decisions. By the end of the course, I hope you will be able to perform basic statistic analysis using Excel. In this meeting, we will learn some statistical functions that can be used in Microsoft Excel. Functions are predefined formulas that perform calculations by using specific values called arguments or structure. Functions can be used to perform simple or complex calculations. The Excel functions that we will learn in this meeting are, let me share file first. Okay, so there are 12 functions that we will learn in this meeting. The first one is max. The second one is maxsay. And then the third one is maxifs. The fourth one is min. The number 5 is min_a. Number 6 is min_ifs. Number 7 is large. Number 8 is small. Number 9 is stdef.s. Number 10 is stdef_p. And then number 11 is stdef_pa. And then number 12 is avdef. Okay, so we can break down all of these 12 functions into two types of function. So from the max until the small is the type of function that finding the largest and smallest values. Okay, so it will be used to find the large and the smallest values. And then for the stdef_s until the avdef is the deviation type of statistics. Okay, so we are going through the first function. First one is max function. Okay, so max is the function used to find the largest values in a set of values. The syntax of the function is equal max, and then the item is number 1 and number 2, and so on. For number 1 and number 2 and so on, the number, okay, the number from 1 to 255 for which you want to find the maximum value. Number 1 is required, number 2 and so on are optional. Okay. For the example of the data that we will process to the max function, so we have five column named customer, product, amount, price, and total. So before we go through to do the max function, I hope you will type this data first in your Excel. So you can pause this video, and after you are finished your data set, you can continue, you can play the video again. Okay, so I hope you already finished your data set. Okay, so the first one, we have customer, product, amount, price, and total data. Okay, for the max function, so I want to find the max amount, okay, the largest amount, the largest value in the amount column. So I want to see the largest number in the amount column. Okay, so how to perform the max function is equal max, open the bracket, and then do the range from 6 until 3, and then close the bracket, and here we go. We got the 8. Okay, so the largest value in the amount column is 8. Okay, so maybe you you have question. What about the total? Okay, let us perform the total column equal max, open the bracket, have arranged from 18 until 9, and then close the bracket. So the largest value in the total column is 18. So here are the examples how to perform the max function. Okay, I hope you already understand about how to do the max function by yourself. And then the second one is max_a function. So max_a function is function used to find the largest value in the arguments. The syntax of the function is equal max_a, and then the item is value 1, value 2, and so on. For the value 1, number 1 to 255, for which you want to find the largest value, it is required. And then for the value 2, and so on, is the number of arguments from 2 to 255, for which you want to find the largest value. It is optional. Okay, so the required one is the value 1. So we have this kind of data. So you may type the data first before we continue to perform the max_a function. So you can pause the video, and after you finish the data set, you can play this video again. Okay, so I assume you already finished your data set. So we have 0.5, 0.13 through 0, 0.9, and 0.05. Okay, and then let us perform this max_a function. Equal max_a, open the bracket, and do the range from 0.5 under 0.05, and then close the bracket. And the largest value in this argument is 1. But as you can see, there's no 1 in our data set. And maybe you can learn in our last meeting that true is count as 1, but false is count as 0. So the largest value will be 0.9. So if you type false in here, it will be count as 0. But if you type true in here, the logical value will be count as 1. So this kind of example will be used, will be gonna use for your journey after this course. Okay, and then we will learn the max_if function. So max_if function is a function used to find the maximum value among cells defined by a certain set of conditions or criteria. The syntax of the function is equal max_if, and the item is max range, criteria range 1, criteria 1, criteria range 2, criteria 2, and so on. So for the max range is the actual range of cells where the maximum value will be specified. It is required. And then for the criteria range 1 is a collection of cells to be evaluated with criteria. It is required. And then for the criteria 1 is a criterion in the form of number, expression, or text that determines which cell to evaluate as a maximum conditions. It is required too. And then for the criteria range 2, criteria 2, criteria range 3, criteria 3, and so on, it can be filled up to 126 range or criteria pairs. And it is that are optionals. Okay, so for the example, we may use the dataset from the max function before. So you may copy the dataset into the new sheet, and then we can perform the max_if function. Okay, so for the first criteria, maybe I will use the, let me see. Okay. So for the first criteria, I will use John. And then for the second criteria, I will use, maybe I will use plate. Okay. Then for the max if function, how to perform the max if function is equal max if, open the bracket, and then the first one is the max range. Okay, so I want to see the maximum number of the amount. Okay, so we may do the range from the number 6 until number 3, and then so make my column, and then the next one is criteria range 1. So from John until John in here, and then the criteria is John. And then from the criteria range 2 is from the plate until the plate. And then the second criteria is plate. And then we close the bracket and then do enter. So the max if function, after we perform the max if function, the result is 6. So the maximum number for the customer John, and then for the product plate is 6. Okay, so maybe we can see here. So John played 6, John played 3. So the maximum number is 6. Okay, so I hope you already understand how to do the basic function of max function. Okay, and then we go to the next function, which is min function. So min function is the function used to find the smallest value in the set of values. The syntax of the function is equal min, and then the item is number 1 and number 2 and so on. The number for the number is the number 1, the number from 1 to 255, which you want to find the minimum value. Number 1 is required, and then number 2 and so on are optional. For the dataset, we can use from the previous dataset. You may copy this dataset and put it in the new sheet. Okay, how to form the min function? So I want to find the smallest value in the amount column. Okay, so equal min, and then we do the range from 6 until 3, close the bracket, and then the result is 2. Okay, so the smallest value in amount column is 2. How about we do it in the total column? So just put it in here, and then the smallest value from the total column is 4. Okay, so I hope you already understand how to perform the main function. And then the second one is from the main function is, I'm sorry, this one is min. Okay, so for the min is the function used to find the smallest value in the argument list. The syntax of the function is equal min, value 1, value 2, value 3, and so on. Value 1 is numbers. Okay, 1 to 255, for which you want to find the smallest value. It is required. And then for the value 2 is number of arguments 2 to 255, for which you want to find the smallest value. It is optional. Okay, so the data is the data, we have the on data set for this min function. You may type the data first, and you can pause the video, and after you finish the data set, you can play this video again. Okay, so I assume you already finished your data set. So we have 0.5, 0.13, 0, 0, 0.9, and 0.05. Okay, so for the min function, to perform the min function, we type equal min, and then open the bracket, to the range from 0.5 until 0.05, and then close the bracket and do the end. Okay, so the smallest number value in this data set is 0. How about we change it to true? Nothing's changed because the true is equal to 1. So yeah, it's more than 0, right? And then how if we do false? Yeah, it's nothing can change because the smallest one is 0. Okay, how about we change it to 0.2? Okay, so the main function still, the result still 0 because false is identified as 0. Okay, so the next one is minif function. Okay. Okay, so a minif function is a function used to find the minimum value among cells defined by a certain set of conditions or criteria. The syntax of the function is equal minif min range. The item are min range, criteria range 1, criteria 1, criteria range 2, criteria 2, criteria 3, and so on. So for the min range is the actual range of cells where the minimum value will be specified. It is required. And then for the criteria range 1 is a collection of cells to be evaluated with criteria. It is required true. And then for the criteria 1 is a criterion in the form of number, expression, or text that determines which cell to evaluate as minimum condition. It is required true. For criteria range 2, criteria 2, and so on. It can be filled up to 126 allowed range of criteria pairs, and it is optional. Okay, so for the example, we use the dataset that we already made before, and then you may copy this dataset into the new sheet. Okay, so for the first criteria, maybe I just type John as always. And then for the second criteria, I may type Kate as always. Okay, so for the minif function, to perform the minif function, we type equal minif. Okay, minif. And then for the min range, so I want to see the smallest value in the amount column. So we put the range from 6 until 3, and then semicolon. And then for the range for the customer column. And then for the criteria is John in here. And then the last one is for the last range is for the plate, the product column from plate under plate. And then the criteria is plate. The result should be 3. Okay, so because for John and plate, there are only 2 options, 6 and 3. So the smallest number is 3. Okay, so I hope you already know how to perform the max and min type of function. Okay, the next one is large. So large is the function is used to find a large value in a dataset. So the syntax of the function is equal large array and k. Array is array or range of data for which you want to determine the key large value. It is required. And then for the k is the position in the array or range of data to be returned. It is required. Okay. So for this one, okay. So I want to find from the amount column, okay, I want to find the third largest value in the amount column. I want to find third largest value in the amount column. So I put 3 in here, and then for perform the last function, we type equal large, open the bracket, and do the log from 6 until 3, and then semicolon, and then the k is 3. Okay, enter. So the third large value in the amount column is 6. Okay, how about the fifth largest value in the amount column is 5. Okay, so that's how to perform the large function. And then we will perform the small. It is same like the large, but the difference is for the small function is the function is used to find the smallest value in a data set. The syntax of the function is equal small. The item is array and k. Array are same like the large from the large function. Array is array or range of data for which you want to determine the k smallest value. And then for the k is the position in the array or range of data to be returned. So both of them is required. And then we will do the small function. To perform the small function, I want to find this third smallest value in the amount column. Okay, so we put 3 in here, and then equal small open bracket block, and then enter. Oh, I'm sorry. We still have the order here, and then voila. So the third smallest number value in the amount column is 3. Okay, and then the next one is STDEF as our standard deviation as is a function used to find standard deviation based on a single sample. It will ignoring logical values and text in the sample. The syntax of the function is equal stdef.s, and then the item is number 1, number 2, and so on. So for the number is argument numbers 1 to 255 relating to the population sample. You can also use a single array or an array or references instead of comma separated arguments. Okay, to perform the standard deviation as function, we put equal stdef s, open the bracket, and to the array from 890 until 833, and then close the bracket and to end. The result is 31.6313839. So the result from the standard deviation as function is 31.6. Okay, these are the standard deviation result. And then the next one is this standard deviation P, or STDEF P. It's a function used to find standard deviation based on the entire population given as an argument. Okay, so it will find the standard deviation based on the entire population, but for the STDEF S is based on a single sample. Okay, the syntax of the function is equal standard deviation P, and then the item is number 1, number 2, and so on. So for the number is argument number 1 to 255 relating to the population sample. You can also use a single array or array of references instead of comma separated arguments. Okay, how to perform the standard deviation P function is stdef P, the bracket, put the range from the 890 until the 833, close the bracket, and the result is 30.0080656. Okay, so there's a differentiation between ES and P result. Okay, and then the next is standard deviation PA. It's a function used to find the standard deviation value based on the entire population, including numbers, text, or logical values. And then the syntax of function is equal standard deviation PA. The item is value 1 and value 2 and so on. So for the value is value 1 to 255 relating to the population. You can also use a single array or an array of references instead of comma separated arguments. Okay, so for the stdef PA function, how to perform the stdef PA function is we equal stdef PA the range from here until 833. Okay, so the result is 30.0081656. Okay, so that's how to perform the standard deviation function, okay, with the different purpose. And then the last one is the AVDEF function. AVDEF function is a function used to calculate the average absolute deviation of data points from their mean values. The syntax of the function is equal AVDEF, and then item is number 1, number 2, and so on. So for the number, it's arguments 1 to 255 for which you want to average the absolute deviation. So here's the data set for the AVDEF. You may type the data first and you can pause this video. After you finish the data set, you can play this video again. Okay, I assume you already finished your data set. And then we will perform the AVDEF function. So how to perform the AVDEF function? We type equal AVDEF for the bracket, and then put the data from 8 to 2, close the bracket, and the result is 2.3. Okay, so this is how to perform the AVDEF function. Okay, because the AVDEF is our last function for this meeting. So I hope you already learned how to do the max function and then the mean family function and large, small, standard deviation and AVDEF function. I hope this will be gonna have impact on your journey in statistical learning. Okay, so see you in the next meeting. I hope you will learn a lot about the statistic using Microsoft Excel from this course. Okay, see you in the next meeting. Goodbye.